Okay, so welcome, everybody. We are on episode 13 of Suitcase Divas. It is must see in NYC. My name is Denise Theobaldi with Redbirds Travel.
And I'm Cheryl Garcia with ABCD Adventures.
Awesome. So, Cheryl and I are getting really excited because our cruise leaves in 24 days, which means in 23 days, we are going to be flying up to New York City. Cheryl, this is your first time, correct?
Yes, this is my first time in New York City, and I'm very excited about it. I've got a list of things that I would like to see, but like you said, we only have about 24 hours to
Yeah, that's
explore.
the little hard part.
And
We've got
you've been
24
there,
hours.
so
Yes,
we're
I
gonna
have.
talk about like some of the things you love or would like to see again, or and then some of the things I would like to see, and you can tell me, nah, it's not as great, or and hopefully some of our listeners will chime in and say, hey, really go see this, or this is kind of overrated. We kind of need some input on this, so I'm
Yeah,
excited.
so it is exciting. There's no doubt about that. I wish we had more time, but we don't. So we're just going to really have to narrow down what we're doing. I will say we are staying right in Times Square. Our hotel is right in Times Square. So that is in the heart of the city. Lots happening, lots going on. People just everywhere, busy, busy, busy. Taxi cabs honking.
I
All
can't
of your
wait. Yes.
it's gonna be it is if you've never seen it, just all of the lights in Times Square and everything going on.
And
I
the
don't think
fact
we won't have a chance to probably stop off at GMA in the morning and wave our hats or wave our hands or anything.
oh,
But
probably not. Well,
that
our
was
flight
always on
gets
my
in.
bucket list, but we'll do it some other time.
Do
But
they have
okay,
good GMA in the morning on Saturday? Because we're flying in Friday
they do.
morning. So maybe, who knows? We could get
We'll
up
see.
early. Um, but
We'll
yeah,
see.
I'm
We'd have to make
excited.
a poster board and be like, we're going to the Caribbean.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm excited
but
that we're going at Christmas time. It's always been New York City's been on my bucket list.
yes. It's gonna
I
be so magical.
always
Lots
wanted
of
to
light.
do time or New Year's Eve in Times Square until I
Oh, the
got
ball
older.
drop.
Yeah, but
Mm.
when I got older, I was like, I have no desire to stand around and
It's
not.
freaking cold. It typically is cold. I've walked around. So this is the kind of one of my packing dilemmas is so we're flying up. We're going to be walking around the city in December in New York, where it's typically very cold, and then we are sailing down to the Caribbean, where it's going to be, sunny
Beautiful
and
and
warm.
nice and sunny. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a little bit of a packing dilemma there, but don't feel sorry for us. We'll figure it out.
Right.
I will say one of my highlights, we went around Christmas time too, and we went to see the Rockettes and they performed in their Christmas special, and it was gorgeous. And how synchronized they all were. I would advise anybody to go see them. It's amazing. Amazing.
And that's something
Rockefeller
that I would
Center.
like to see probably if we had more time. I think
Right.
I don't know
I think for
how
sure we don't really have that
okay,
time.
yeah, I don't know how long that show is or anything like that. So
I think it's like 2.5 hours, and it
I
has the
want to
intermission.
sightsee and
But
get in as many.
I do want to see the big tree. Now, we didn't
Yes, the
go.
Home
I
Alone
want to
tree.
go. Right. I do want to see the big tree that's lit up in the park and walk around, maybe get some spiked coffee.
Which while I was doing some research on, I want to do the typical touristy things because I love that type, but I also like to find off the wall, um, off the beaten path kind of
Yeah.
attractions. And I found a pop-up holiday bar called Miracle on Ninth Street, and it's like
Oh,
supposed to be themed drinks,
like the
and
movie?
that's Miracle on 31st Street, I think, right?
Oh,
But
yeah. I
I
was like,
think
is
it's
the
a
theme
play
of
on
that? So it's
spin.
on Ninth Street.
I guess. Yeah, yeah, it is on
I
Ninth
need to
Street.
do some more research about that.
Well,
But
I put it in our little map, Wonderlog thing so that we can
I'm
kind of
gonna
see
need to
how
look
far
for that
things
Wonderlog.
are.
Yeah.
But that
Okay.
was one of the things that I didn't see. Like I had to dig deep for that one to find it because I like to find those that aren't when you first Google a location, you get like the top 25 or
They're gonna
something.
do things like Empire State Building. They're gonna do Statue of
Right.
Liberty, things like that. I mean, and honestly, the 9/11 museum we did, and it was brutally cold that day, but just to stand there in that place where the Twin Towers were, and it's now a memorial, it's just like it,
That would
it's
be something that would be on my list to see
yeah,
as
it's
well.
very sombering, and it's kind of
Yeah.
heartbreaking to remember, how many lives we lost that day.
But it's one of
Um,
those things, if you get the opportunity, you should go see,
yeah.
never forget kind of thing. I agree with
Hmm.
that.
Yep.
Um, so one besides the Miracle on 34th Street and I mean the 31st Street,
It's
the
Ninth
pop-up,
Street, damn
it
it.
is Ninth Street, the pop-up bar, because I thought that was really cute. They had something else that I found that I didn't know much about was, have you heard of the High Line?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's like, well, typically in the summer it's like a garden and it's really pretty, and you walk over, and yes, we didn't do that when we were there either. I don't know what it entails in the winter, like if it's, you know,
Right, I didn't
still
know.
something cool to do.
I put it on our list. It's one I put a bunch of things on our list. I know we're not going to be able to see them all, but I didn't know if it was like something that would overlook the city lights or if it
Yeah,
was, it
we'll
just
have to
was
dig
very
that a little more.
interesting.
Also, a carriage ride is supposed to be
Oh,
like
that
the
would be
trendy thing
fun.
to do. But you know what it reminds me of? I'll never like the episode of Seinfeld where Kramer gives him the beefarino, the horse he fed at beefarino, and then they were doing this romantic carriage ride, and the horse was like farting a lot, and it
Oh,
was really disgusting. So I don't know. I've got a lot of sensory issues. I don't know if that'll be like traumatic if we
well, we
tried to
just
do it.
won't feed them a burrito.
Beefarino.
Yeah. Which would be, I bet that would be so pretty at night,
Well,
especially
and they give
during
you like a
Christmas
nice
time.
cozy blanket and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I
I don't
think
know.
that would
That
be
could be
really
potential.
cute.
Hmm.
So I did see there, obviously when you watch, because I love Christmas movies, the Hallmark movies and stuff like that, and you see the ice skating. I don't want to ice skate before a cruise because my luck, I have the worst luck. I would fall and break something.
Break a hip or something.
But
Hmm.
it was one of those, it would be cute for like pictures and just say I've been there. Since we're talking about TV, which by the way, I never really got into Seinfeld, so don't come at me, listeners. I just Daniel watches it and I catch glimpses of it here and there, but I just didn't get into it too much. But one of my all-time favorite shows was based in New York City, Friends. I know
I
it was
love
a film
Friends.
there, but
Yeah.
it was based there. And they
Yep.
actually have a Friends NYC
Central Perk.
experience. No,
Ooh.
experience. It's like a museum, or
I
it's
bet
the
you that's
set.
super crowded though right now because Matthew Perry just passed.
Well, you have to reserve your time slot. And
Okay.
so it's two stories, and you get to go to Monica and Chandler's apartment, or Monica and Rachel, depending on where you are in the series, and
Right.
Joey and Chandler's
That
apartment,
would be
Central
fun.
Park.
I would love
So,
that.
okay, can I put that on our list to check into? Because that
Yeah.
is
I
a
love
bucket list.
Friends. I mean,
Yes,
that is one of my like, if you can't fall asleep, but you're trying to put
yes,
on something that's just familiar and so cozy that you like grew up watching and stuff, like Friends is that for me. Like I
same.
know every single episode like the back of my hand. I know who the TV guide name was that
Right.
went to the has, all the good stuff, all the trivia.
I just
Um,
hosted last December. I hosted a friends murder mystery Christmas dinner with my Girl Scout troop, and we had a blast with it.
I was gonna be
Decorated,
like, I
went
was
all
not
out.
invited to that, but
That was an
okay. I'm not a Girl
we're
Scout.
talking about doing it again because I can be the host. We could still reuse it, but it was like my kitchen has
That
friends
sounds
theme. Like
fun.
I would love to
Yeah.
do that. I'm very excited, and I did check the dates and the slots available, so we can go either that Friday or Saturday morning. But I'm super excited. If I didn't know, like I knew you liked Friends, but not everybody is obsessive. I love when I go places to find movies or shows that I've watched, and I like to check that out. Like the places that I've been. I did that when I went down to Georgia, and I just enjoy walking in
Right.
the steps of some of my favorite characters. So,
Absolutely. It
uh,
makes it almost a little bittersweet though that, Matthew's gone now.
yeah,
But he was just he was remarkable. It's
yes.
sad, but It's good to be remembered in a positive light.
And I would have you ever been to the toy store? What is it? I'm thinking Macy's. Have you been to Macy's there? I bet it's
No, I have not.
beautiful this time of year. So, and I don't know. As a travel agent, I'm horrible at maps, which is horrible to say. I have to really direction. I have to look at a
I
map
did
to know where
also
I'm
just
at.
text my bestie Janine, who is very familiar with NYC. She works there. So I just asked her if there's any must sees. We're only there for 24 hours, like, and we are going to meet up with her and her
Mhm.
little wee one, Audrey. I believe Audrey will be there. And so she'll pick out a great lunch spot for us, and we'll kind of factor around that because I can't go to New York City and not see Janine like that. I
Right.
never go there, so she would like that would be a no-no. I would be like
Yeah.
on the naughty list if I were to do that.
What time are we
And
supposed
she's
to?
a really cool shit, so you'll like her.
I'm looking forward to me. I love meeting new people, and which is why I'm excited. One of the things I'm excited about for New York City, just to people watch, find a nice spot, like go get coffee in the
And the
morning.
accents, there's so
Oh,
many like really, really New York accents, all that. You will be taken aback with just the whole culture. It is a culture.
yeah.
Like I almost I you and you got to keep your wits about you. You have to watch where you're walking. You could get hit by a bicycle or a taxi. You just gotta. They have the bumpers on the back of all the cars. They're like these little faux bumpers because they actually
Oh,
do just
really?
run in. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. And everybody's honking, and if you're claustrophobic, it's going to be a problem because you're just so many people crammed in a very like little area. The sidewalks are just like it's almost like you're swimming upstream and in a sea of fish. You
For
know,
things
it's
like that, I love it. I love because the vibe that it sets. Like, how can you not just? I totally love
it's
to
an
immerse myself in
experience.
that.
I
Yeah,
will tell you that it is an experience, one that you will never forget.
I'm very excited about it. So, what was some other of your highlights that you had seen, or you guys didn't get a chance to see, and you kind of want to go see?
Um, so we did go see the Statue of Liberty, but it was so cold and windy, they were not taking because you can get on a boat and go out to the actual Statue of
Hmm.
Liberty. But because it was so cold and windy, they were not running boats that day. So we just took a couple pictures from from
Afar, yeah.
the parking lot essentially. Um, and we did do the Rockettes, which was a highlight for me. I loved it. I could not believe how choreographed and perfect and how they can change the set out and it was bright and Christmassy. And um, I didn't get to do the tree, which I'm looking forward to, and just walking around, seeing Times Square, seeing we did walk around Times Square and stuff. But like I said, it was so cold the time we were there, and I have poor circulation, so it was a bit brutal. So I'm going to try to plan accordingly to be have warmer clothes this
We
time,
need
just
to
in case.
bring, I'm gonna put this on our list, hot hands, so that
Oh
we can keep
yeah,
them in our gloves and in our pockets. Because what we used to do when we had to stand out and sell Girl Scout cookies is we would have hot hands in our boots and hot hands in our everywhere, all over. They need
right,
larger
yeah.
ones so that you can tuck them in. You're like on your stomach, keep your core warm, and just
Really?
yeah.
I did not know that about hot hands. I thought they legit were just for to put in your hands.
Oh no, I
So
put them everywhere. Like I think they did come out with a slightly bigger one that would fit like tuck it somewhere in your pocket, or like I really like them on my stomach because it warms you from like your
yeah, if
center
your
of your
core is,
core.
yeah. I hear that.
But yeah, absolutely. Because I'm like, the funny thing is, both of us are cold nature. We don't like to be cold, and we're
No.
always cold.
Yes.
So, the good thing is, like, we're going to be both bundled up, and it's just going to be really cute. And I'll make sure we bring hot hands so that we
Yes.
aren't
Please
as
bring the hot
cold.
hands.
And
Yes.
we'll have to find cute little bags to hold all that stuff in.
Or go bags.
Yeah. Um, let's see. What is the other thing? Oh, I Central Park is something I know it's huge.
Yeah, it's a
when I
great park.
actually look at the map of it, how big it is, but I'm guessing there are certain parts that are more touristy than others. Did you guys go to Central Park?
Yes, so we because it was so cold, we drove around the perimeter of Central
Oh wow,
Park
y'all
and
drove
I
in New York City?
yes.
You're
Yeah.
brave.
I personally did not drive and I kind of held my hands over my eyes a lot.
Oh,
Um but yeah, we did. And we one thing there is like a particular area you go and it was this big rock and then it was like on top of the rock there's a statue of like Alice in Wonderland.
oh,
I
okay.
definitely remember people like waiting to pose at the statues of the different parts of Alice in Wonderland and I do have a picture of the kids. But yeah, I don't remember the weather really took its toll on how much we were able to walk out and about and
Yeah.
enjoy like, the city. And I remember there was this really trendy place to eat dinner and apparently they played music and sang along. I forget what the name of that was, but we waited an hour outside in line to get into this in the brutal freezing cold. Like I was miserable. I was like, it can't be this great, but
Was it worth it
that we're
though?
going
When you guys got in?
absolutely not for me. Not for me.
So
Not
I will
for
tell
me.
you, I also don't like to wait like that. So if we get there, I'm totally
No, I'm
fine
not even like
pivoting
that's not
and
even
get
on our bucket list. Nope.
okay, good.
Yeah. No, for sure not. And it's probably a good thing I can't remember the name because I think these people like really they're people that are wanting to be on Broadway and so they're waiters and waitresses, but they get to go up on their stage and sing and then
Oh,
they want you to
okay.
sing along. The concept is very neat and I think maybe if it's like a Shannon Starr family with Shelby and Ainsley and they love to perform, that place might be like super awesome for them because we know how much into
Theater
theater
they are.
and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, exactly. But for me, and I think by the time we got there, I was just so cold and miserable. And they want you to be like all happy and sing
Yeah.
along and do that. And I was just like, I just want food and I just
And you
want to
can't
not
thaw
be
out.
freezing.
You can't really enjoy it until you thaw
Right.
out.
And then they were like kind of giving us a hard time because we weren't like outgoing. But listen, those situations are not normal, you know? So I guess if you have a lot of liquor in you and you are not afraid to get up on stage and sing and do stuff along with the crew, then that is a fun place.
Oh, they got you up on they let people
No, no,
come
no,
up
I
with
didn't get up
I mean, well,
anywhere,
in
but I'm just
general, they
saying
have people come up with
you
them?
I think you can or at least stand up at your table and sing along or if you like the song. Like I said, I won't go
It's
into
like
much
live
detail because people
karaoke.
are
I
probably
love
like
that.
right now, that bitch. I didn't say the
That's all right. You know, because you're not
name.
complaining about the place.
No,
It's
it was
just
just
the
a really
wait.
miserable
Yeah.
experience. Yeah, with the cold and the situation, I for sure would not be going back there at all. That's just not my jam. But
Right.
that's not to say that it's not a lovely establishment and other people could enjoy themselves there. It was just a really that would not be something I would ever want to go back and recreate or redo. The
Right.
Rockefeller Center and the Rockettes and all that, that was beautiful. I would for sure love to go back there and do that.
Well, let's put
Um,
that on our list and check our try to create when we're working on our itinerary. Let's see if we could I've never seen it, so I'd be down for it if we can squeeze it in and that's holiday, right?
well, I think they do it all year, but the one
Okay.
particular, I mean, because it's around Christmas when we're going, it for sure would be holiday theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It sounds exciting. I think whatever we can squeeze in. We'd love to hear from our listeners any suggestions of things we should go see. Like Denise said, we're staying in Times Square, but we don't mind. And we're landing early Friday morning. What time do
Yep.
we have to get on the cruise ship on Saturday? Is it
Uh, I think they don't leave until like 4 p.m. So
so
we've got
two
a good
o'clock?
Yeah, so
Okay.
but it's gonna take a hot minute to get from where we are in Times Square to the Brooklyn terminal. And the other cool thing is I think we do cruise right under the Brooklyn Bridge. So that is gonna be beautiful. That'll be a fun, definitely a photo op for sure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like to see whatever we can see. As much as we can squeeze in would be
Yeah, I think
awesome.
for sure we should, just check out the 9/11 memorial. I don't know if we'd have time to go to the museum with all the artifacts and how you
Hmm.
walk through, but definitely the memorial where you see where the names are
Yeah.
and all that, I think would be for sure probably something you'd want to see.
Yeah.
So, we don't have a lot. The other thing is they do have the double decker buses that you can go and hit all the things. They also have the cruises like in the Hudson River that you can go around. But essentially, I'm thinking that's might be a little overkill since we're literally getting on a cruise the next day. But those
The
are the trendy
last
type of things
the
that they do.
last double decker hop on, hop off tour I
Okay.
did was in DC. I think it was
Okay.
I think it was DC. I had taken my troop. Our bus tire caught on fire. We were
Oh
on the
no.
top deck. It was just like the middle. This was sometime in June, so it was hot, and our bus tire caught on fire, and
Yep.
it was
Yikes.
an experience, and we all had a blast. But that was I think that was the one and only time I've been on one of
I'm
those. And
sorry. I hope you can't hear my dog barking because he's
oh,
just
it's
being
okay.
ridiculous.
Um,
Um,
and those are nice for quick, if you want to do that. But I'm also good walking around and just
Yeah,
the
there's
subway would
so
be a
much to
great thing to
see and do
do
just walking around for sure. I
if
think
we,
you
yeah. And I would love to take like the sub or at least go down just to say,
the
ooh, I was
subway, I'm such a fucking pansy, but it was I'm not gonna say scary. It's just like a lot of people and you're just like really, if you have any sensory issues, it's a bit overwhelming. There's some people that, have really strong body odor.
yeah.
It like when I say it's an experience.
I love the experiences, but if we need if we need to travel, I would, and it comes down to like other than going to the port, if
We
it's
did
like
do the
Uber
Museum of
or
Natural History too, and that's very educational. I wouldn't recommend it
I
if we've only got 24
right.
hours, but if you had more time, it was a beautiful museum. There was a lot to see.
I love museums, but I spend my time in museums. I'm that annoying person that reads the whatever little signage
Yeah,
they have. I'm not, so I
exactly.
spend some time in a museum. And I get this hopefully won't be my one and only trip to NYC. So
No,
I'm
you got
good
to go
at
back to the Big Apple.
right. So I'm good, walking around, exploring and getting some of the main hotspots, like you said, like the tree. We're both super excited about the tree, the
Yes.
memorial. But I'd also like, especially from our listeners and locals, anyone in New York or who spends a lot of time there, what are the off the beaten path things that we
Must
should go
see.
see?
Yeah,
Yeah,
must
I want
see
to see
in
some of those.
NYC. We
Yeah.
need your feedback. We need your input.
So
So
it's
that
exciting, but
Yeah, I'm super excited. And 23 days. Can you believe it?
I know we've got a lot of work to do between
We've
now
got a
and
lot to do.
then. Yeah.
We do.
So our when we get back from the cruise, or we are going to be recording episodes while we're on the cruise and going
We
live and
will.
doing some things like that.
Yep.
We're going to record a post NYC trip so we can tell you what we did do and what we thought of it. So that'll come sometime in January, maybe end of December. We haven't figured out how we're going to do this holiday thing. It's our first holiday while podcasting, so
Yes.
we'll see how that works out. But definitely listen out for the follow up of our experience in NYC. And in the meantime, listeners, please send us
We
some
want your feedback.
info.
Yes.
Yes, we
We want your
definitely want some.
recommendations.
Right.
Yes.
But thanks for hanging out. And we are so excited to be going to New
Woo-hoo.
York City.
Yep. Super excited, guys. Till next time.
Bye.
Peace out. and we will see you next week. Have a great week, all.
Bye, guys.